You know that feeling when a project is just dragging, tasks fall through the cracks, deadlines blow right past you, and suddenly the finger pointing starts? We've all been there, right? But working harder isn't the fix. Today we're talking about the RACI matrix. And look, I know what you might be thinking, more project management paperwork, but let's look at this completely differently. It is actually a massive executive strategy. It's literally a manager's secret weapon to pull teams out of the weeds of just doing stuff and shift them into genuine outcome-based accountability.
All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Here is our roadmap for today. First, we'll unpack the accountability trap. Then we'll break down the actual RACI framework, build your matrix in 3 really simple steps, run through a real-world example, and finally troubleshoot by spotting some common RACI red flags.
Okay, section 1, the accountability trap. Activity versus accountability. Before we even touch the solution, we've got to acknowledge a wildly frustrating pain point. Have you ever seen a task with, say, 10 people actively working on it, yet it somehow still manages to fail to reach the finish line? Yeah, it's brutal. This is what we call the everyone is doing, no one is owning trap. You've got high effort and absolutely unbelievable amount of emails, but zero actual outcome because the task just inevitably drops. So the root of the problem really boils down to activity versus accountability. See, activity looks like over-collaboration. It's those 10 people working, endless meetings. Basically, everyone is putting in sweat equity, but nobody's actually driving the car. Accountability, on the flip side, is all about clear ownership. We're talking exactly one person owning the final outcome. Relying on that clear ownership completely prevents having way too many cooks in the kitchen. Moving right along to section 2, the RACI breakdown. Let's define the roles. To solve this whole activity trap, let's break down each letter of the acronym to see exactly how it shifts our focus straight to outcomes. Starting with R. The R stands for responsible. Simply put, these are your doers. These are the team members who literally roll up their sleeves and perform the actual day-to-day work to execute and complete the task. And yes, you can absolutely have multiple people responsible for a single task, teaming up to get the job done. Next up is A, for accountable. Now, think of this person as the owner. This is, without a doubt, the most absolutely crucial role for focusing on actual outcomes. The accountable person is ultimately answerable for the task's success or failure. They hold that final yes or no power, and they're the one who signs off on the final work. Which brings us to a massive point, what project managers actually call the golden rule of RACI. There should be only one accountable belly button per task. Just one. Why? Well, because if you have multiple accountable people, you completely diffuse ownership. Think about it. If 2 department heads are both accountable, what happens when an error pops up? They just point fingers at each other. Having only one A stops those decision bottlenecks in their tracks and kills the culture of blame. All right, moving on to C for consulted. Think of these folks as your advisors. These are your subject matter experts who provide crucial input and give guidance before any final decision is made. Now keep in mind, this role requires 2-way communication. Basically, you ask for their expertise, and they give you feedback to refine and improve the outcome. And finally, we've got I for informed. These are your spectators. They definitely need to know the progress or the final result because, it might affect their future work, but they aren't actively involved in executing the task itself. Designating people as informed is honestly a fantastic way to slam the brakes on over-collaboration. It frees people up from sitting in on those completely unnecessary meetings and lets them just focus on their actual work. With them, it is strictly one-way communication. Okay, section 3, building your matrix. Here is a quick 3-step guide. Implementing this thing is super effortless. Here is a really quick 3-step guide to get you going. Step 1, list your tasks. Just write down the key deliverables, milestones, or big decisions down the left side of a table. Step 2, identify the players. List your team members, their roles, or even whole departments horizontally across the top row. And step 3, assign the letters. You just fill in those intersecting boxes with an R, A, C, or I. Just remember those golden rules we talked about. There must be at least one R doing the work and exactly one A owning it. Just to visualize, here's what step 2 looks like in practice. Along the top row of this education-based matrix, you would map out all your stakeholders. So you've got the head of school, the director of teaching and learning, the dean of STEM, and so on, all laid out logically before you even start assigning any roles. Let's move to section 4, a real-world example. We're going to look at launching a marketing campaign. Let's actually ground this theory in a practical scenario so you can see it in action. Take a look at the first task, develop homepage. The web designer is the R, right? They're the doer, actively coding away. The project manager is the A, owning the final approval. The marketing team is the C, they're consulted for input on the layout. And the CEO is simply the I, they just get a progress update. Now, look what happens with the second task, launch campaign. The roles shift completely. Now the marketing team is the R, doing the heavy lifting. The CEO steps up to be consulted, and the web designer drops back to just being informed. But notice, the project manager remains the accountable owner. See how incredibly clear it is who does what at every single phase? Finally, Section 5, Spotting RACI Red Flags, How to Read Your Matrix. So once you've actually built your chart, you can audit it to instantly spot potential project bottlenecks way before the work even begins. It's kind of like a crystal ball. Look closely at your rows and columns. If you see too many R's on a single task, you got to ask yourself, is the work spread too thin? Are we accidentally creating a situation where everyone thinks someone else is taking care of it? On the flip side, if you see too many C's, watch out. That is a massive flashing warning sign for design by committee. If 5 different people need to be consulted before a decision is made, well, that task is going to take forever due to endless opinions and feedback loops. And here it is, the biggest red flag of all. If you look at a task row and there is literally no A assigned, you are looking at guaranteed failure. Without an accountable owner, there is zero performance accountability. There's no personal consequence if the job doesn't get done. That task will absolutely slip through the cracks because at the end of the day, nobody is ultimately answerable for it. So I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. Take a hard look at your own workload today. Which of your current chaotic projects desperately needs a RACI intervention? Seriously, take just 10 minutes, map out your tasks, assign your R's and A's, and watch how quickly you can regain clarity, boost your team's morale, and drive true outcome-based accountability. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer.